I believe we are live. Welcome to Direct Mail, Monday, July 11th, 2022. Steve Sipress here. Follow up to last week's episode on Direct Mail Monday, where I shared a political postcard I received, not from a candidate. Now we are live. If we hadn't been live before, welcome to Direct Mail Monday, July 11th, 2022. Steve Sipress here with a follow up to a last Direct Mail Monday, where I shared a postcard I received not from any of the seemingly bazillion candidates here in Arizona. We got all the regular seats plus a Senate seat plus the governor. So like lots of elections here, lots of candidates, especially since we're now in the primary weeding out season. But here's a follow up from some kind of organization. I don't know what's going on. First of all, they did let me know, so I thank them for letting me know that for the first time ever, I did call and spoke to someone in the government office. Um, Unaffiliated, as they call it, or independent voters who, like me, either just choose to, or in my case, refuse to be a member of either one of these two ridiculously corrupt, self serving, useless parties. So I haven't been able to vote in the primary here in Arizona since we moved here 5 years ago. And we were told when we registered at the directory of motor vehicles and we got a driver's license, oh, if you don't declare one of the parties, you'll never be able to vote in a primary. I'm like, whatever. That's going to convince me. That's pretty weak. That it's going to take a little more than that, a lot more than that, to convince me to join one of these corrupt, horrible, major political parties that's causing so much damage in this country. Like, give me a break. But now, for the first time, the postcard I shared last week let me know I can vote in the primary. And so here it is again. It's a follow up, which is there's a lesson right there. We send campaigns, successful marketing, advertising, sales people. We think in terms of campaigns, not events. So we don't just send one postcard and go, hey, I got no response. I sent out a postcard. Steve, direct mail doesn't work. Send out a campaign. Postcard number one, postcard number two, phone call, email, long form letter, like all kinds of different stuff in the campaign. So this is postcard number two from this organization. Maybe it's 2 out of 5, 2 out of 3, 2 out of 2. I don't know. But it's this getaballot.com thing that I shared last week, which .com, not a government thing. So I'm like, who's this from? But this one actually also states the government website right there. And it's voter info at, for some reason, risk.maricopa.gov. Maricopa is the county. Phoenix, Scottsdale are in, but risk, I don't know. I don't know what that's got to do with voting. Registry, I don't know. But it's funny that they call it risk, maricopa.gov, because there's really no risk involved with elections. There's no risk that it could possibly be a clean, fair election. There's no risk of that. Hasn't happened in who knows how long. And so whichever party loses is going to claim, as they always do, it was all a setup. It was all stacked against me. It was rigged. It was thrown. It was unfair. It was. Of course, they're going to say that. But you know what? I vote anyway. So now, for the first time here in Arizona, I'm going to vote in the primary. And so, uh, interesting that it says here they're trying to convince me to vote by saying early. Now they're telling me early voting is. I don't know what who said early. I'm not going to. Oh, early voting. That's just ridiculous to me. Okay, I celebrate New Year's. I know this is strange, but I celebrate New Year's on January 1st every year. I guess that's strange. Shouldn't I be celebrating it any time from around November 28th until January 14th? I don't know, like before, after, whenever I feel like it. Like, no. There's something called Election Day. That's the day I vote. But it says here that more than 80% of voters use early voting to cast their ballot. Now, for most people, probably 80% of people or more, that helps convince them that peer pressure, oh, see, that's the right thing to do. For successful people, we know that one of the big reasons we're successful as a business owner, if you're watching this video, hopefully you are, or just in general, is you see what the majority of people do, and then you do the opposite. Because very few people are successful, right? There's always going to be a 1% and a 99% of income. It's always going to be a top 5% and a bottom 95%. So which would you rather be? 90% of businesses go out of business. So if they send me a postcard and say, hey, 90% of businesses fail, should I do whatever I can to hope that my business fails? Like they tell me 80% of people vote early. I'm like, that's even more reason, as if I need. I mean, it's doesn't matter. I'm not voting early, but that explains how ridiculous it is. Not to mention, gee, no chance of fraud there if you can drop a ballot into a box in the middle of the night, no one's watching, and you can drop it 5 or 10 or 15 or however many you want. Like, no, there's no chance of that happening, of course. Uh, but I have to protect my rights and by requesting a ballot. So I have to save democracy. I can save democracy. I, don't even get me started. Democracy doesn't need saving. It's not going anywhere. Whether elections are fair or not, there's voting going on. There's some semblance of democracy. It's never going to be full democracy. We don't even live in a democracy here in the U.S. We live in a republic. So it's not mob rule and you always hear about this. For president, the overall, what do they call it, the popular vote? There's no such thing. There is no popular vote. One overall popular vote for president. It's not a democracy. It's a republic. So we have 50 popular votes, right? And they're all count. Every vote counts differently depending on where you live. It's just how a republic works. But well, the other thing I saw here is protect your vote, request a ballot, and it says here. You see that there? Where is I going to line it up here? Protect your vote. Protect your vote. I don't understand. Don't forget to protect your vote is the headline. I don't understand. I don't understand how my vote is in danger. I don't understand. I don't really care. I called the government to find out if that's for real. She said, yep, first time ever you can. Just go to the polling place on election day and go vote. Simple as that. Now, number two, lesson number two around political direct mail. Here on Direct Mail Monday, I received this one from a candidate, and this one, I had no idea who this is when I got the postcard. I put it aside into my direct mail pile to possibly feature on a Direct Mail Monday, and here it is. And then over the weekend, I saw a commercial. Now, reticular activation is involved. Look it up. You're not sure what that is. Now, I noticed one of the 47 bazillion political ads we're seeing, her name popped up, and there she is walking around the border, and I'm going to fix the wall or whatever she said. But and here's the main point of today's video, is at the end of it, she said, as if it were a positive, she said, or whoever the announcer was on the commercial, or maybe the words just came on the screen, I don't remember, but it said something about she's been endorsed by our current governor, who is not running again, which maybe that's because of term limits. I don't pay that much attention, or maybe he just chose not to, which would be fine by me. This guy's a complete loser and a crumb. And so now I'm like, well, there's someone to definitely not vote for. And maybe it says it on here too that she's got does not, uh, that she has the endorsement of the current governor. Now, the current governor, at least 4 or 6 years ago, or two, or however often the government elections are, at least 4 or 6, I guess, won enough votes to win governor. So you would think that's a great endorsement. However, he won the election. Would he win the election today with all the nonsense going on and all the stuff he did wrong? So wondering about his endorsement, it made me think an endorsement is like a referral to your business, right? Business owners like to say, most of them say, I love referrals. I know a whole bunch of successful business owners who refuse to take referrals. And I've talked about that before. But in general, the reason people that don't know how to advertise and market effectively love referrals because people come right to them as if they ran effective ads or marketing. You run an ad that I make up for you, and people all come running to you, wanting to business even stronger than if it was a referral from your best customer or your best customer's brother or your brother or whatever. So people that don't know how to do that love referrals. It's the only way they get people coming to them wanting to do business. Their ads and their marketing doesn't do it. However, when you get a referral, you've got to understand and think about who the referral came from. So in this case, this is a referral from someone I'm not at all impressed by when she says I'm endorsed by the current governor, who I have no good feelings towards. So, ouch. That's a bad referral. It makes me less likely to vote for her. Now, I have an open mind, as always, and I'm going to look over all the candidates and see who I like and who I don't. And there'll never be one that hasn't been yet in my lifetime who ticks all the boxes. It's always we have two parties. And even in the primaries, we got a few choices, but they're generally going to be all similar because the majority of people have similar thoughts on certain issues. So no one's ever going to line up. No one ever has. I don't think any candidate ever will line up with everything I want. Maybe not with you either. I don't know if it does with anybody except the most far, far, far on either end of the spectrum. So we'll check it out. Open mind. Might vote for her anyway, but that endorsement not only didn't help in my case, definitely hurt her in my case. On the other hand, I see on these commercials there are, and I know it's happening all over the country, there are a bunch of candidates that are climbing all over themselves to plead and beg and kiss the ring and get the endorsement of Donald Trump. Again, that almost tells me who not to vote for. Not only do I not care who he wants to endorse, again, that almost unqualifies the person for me. For instance, another woman that's running for governor here, I've seen her on the TV commercials because I used to see her doing the evening news. So ever since I've been here, she was doing the evening news on one of the local channels. And, Trump, just from what I can see, this Dr. Oz and a few others, Trump loves the outsiders like him, the non politicians that run for office. And in this case, I believe, I don't know what she did before, but she's fairly young. She's got to be in her early 50s, I'm guessing, and maybe about 25-year career. 25 years out of 25, 30 years out of college, let's say. Um, this is the fifth largest city in America. So to work up to doing the evening news in the fifth largest city in America, it's likely she's been in broadcasting her whole career. That she went to school for broadcasting, came out and got a crapo job over here and an internship over there. That was my first career choice. So I did all that, the internship at this station, and then crappy job at this one. And then I said, I don't want to do this anymore. But it's likely she did, making it to the evening news in the fifth largest city in America. And then she mysteriously, although now I guess it's not so mysterious, a couple of years ago, announced, "Hey, I'm out. I'm leaving." Like what is pretty much one of the top jobs in the entire profession of newscaster, fifth largest city in America, evening newscast. And she just left. But I think a few months later found out why, because she did all the paperwork and declared for governor. And I think that's one reason Trump must like her. He likes celebrities. They can put on a good show, present. If you ask me, I'm not inside his head, God forbid. But if you ask me, it's got partially to do with as him TV personalities, Dr. Oz, this one, Carrie Lake is her name, whatever. She was on the evening news, was Hook and Lake, Hook and Lake. Ever since I've been here, was watch the evening news with Hook and Lake. Now it's Lake for governor. Um, but they present themselves well. They can certainly speak, read a teleprompter. That's what they do for a living. They can, put on a show. Trump, that's big Trump-like stuff. And I would think in this case, in this year, I got to look it up, I guess, but I would think that part of the endorsement is based on the fact of how much she is in favor of his contention, pointing out all the shenanigans with the election and focusing on that, even though you, I don't think, from what I see on social media, some people actually really believe that there's still a chance of overturning the last election and Trump is secretly, magically going to become the president again. And give me a break. But I think that's probably a big part of it, that you're into his, the election was fraudulently stolen from me. You want to build a wall, all the Trump kind of stuff. But just by the fact endorsed by Trump, one strike against you for me. Endorsed by our government governor, one strike against you for me. Again, I got an open mind, but there you have it. And in business, if I get a referral and I see who it's from, and I see that that person who gave me that referral is constantly bothering my staff with my customer service there, and is always complaining, and is always worth way too much time and trouble for the profit that I make from them. Do I want someone they refer? There's a saying, remember this one: like refers like. Like refers like. Again, that's why I think the TV show person is referred by Donald Trump, who before he ran for office had a TV show, right? So the TV show showman refers the TV show showman. And now that I think about it, the current governor, kind of establishment guy who I do not like, is referring this, which probably means I'll look her up, of course, as it gets near the election in a couple of weeks. She's likely very establishment like because like refers like. So before you get all jumping out of your seat every time you get a referral, today's lesson is look for who is doing the referring. If it's a problem customer who's always asking for a deal, can you lower your prices? Can you give me more service? They're always complaining. Their payments are always late. They would have like just sharing 40 years of business experience and helping thousands and thousands and thousands of other business owners over the years might not be a great prospect for you. But if your best client, who is a joy to work with and pays in full, pays early, loves you, talks about you all the time, tells it, and refers somebody, oh man, I want to talk to that person, right? So, like refers like, pay attention. It's not just, oh, referrals are great. Pay attention to who's doing the referring. And the minor lesson I gave up front is think in terms of campaigns, not just events, not just one postcard or one letter or one ad and go, hey, Steve, it doesn't work. Campaign, series of ads, series of postcards, phone call, email. That's a multi-step, multimedia campaign. Maybe I saw the postcard, didn't respond yet. Now I get an email. Now I see an ad on TV. Then I get a voicemail. Somebody called me on the phone. Like, maybe I will check out this I can vote in the primary thing, right? Think in terms of campaigns, not events. And remember, like refers like. That'll do it for Direct Mail Monday, July 11th, 2022. Thanks for being here today, and I will catch you back here again tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. Until then, over and out.